Now on CoastTV News.
Remembering former Lewis Mayor Ted Becker, how the community continues to honor his legacy and came together today. New information on early voting across Delmarva, how many people came out and what you need to know before hitting the polls. See which success, the sights and sounds from the annual festival. And Paul and I, well, we happened to be there, didn't we?
Indeed, and it was dry there and it's dry everywhere. The dry pattern of weather continues. The big question is, just for how long? The answer coming up in your full forecast in moments.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Record turnout for early voting. You see here a line around the block. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf. Welcome to CoastTV News at 11. We begin tonight with new numbers from the Department of Elections. Numbers show Delawareans are going to the polls in record fashion. Over 55,000 people statewide have cast their ballots early. This is also as of Saturday morning, so that number has probably gone up. In Sussex County, just over 10,000 people cast absentee ballots by now. In-person voting, that was over 15,000 in just one day. And this is Delaware's first year for early in-person voting. Early voting polls are open 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. until October 29th, then 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. the 30th through the 3rd. It's important to note your normal polling place is likely not where you can vote early. There's only certain locations where you can do that. And here is a list of those early voting sites in Sussex County, as far west as Laurel, as far south as Roxana. And don't scramble to write this down. We do have this printed right now on our website, coasttv.com. As for the eastern shore of Maryland in Wycomico County, people can vote at First Baptist Church or the Civic Center. In Worcester, it's the OC Convention Center. And for our Dorchester County viewers, you just head to the Dorchester County Election Office. Maryland early voting is until Halloween between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. Heads up, people who use the Junction and Breakwater Trail, which I know is a lot of our viewers. Starting Monday, the trail will be closed at Holland Glade Road. This is to complete sidewalk improvements on that road. The closure is expected to last 7 to 10 days. Hundreds of people came out today to honor former Lewis Mayor Ted Becker, who passed away earlier this month. Coast TV News reporter Anna Sofia Roman shows us his life of service and legacy highlighted today.
It was a beautiful morning in Lewis.
All the sounds of the earth are like music.
As people gathered to honor and celebrate the life of former Lewis Mayor Ted Becker. Becker served as mayor from 2014 to 2022 and had been on council since 2004. David Ludlow from the Lewis Junction Railroad and Bridge Association reflected on Becker's presence in the community.
You cannot deny how kind Ted was. You saw Ted all over the city. I saw him on bicycle rides. I saw him when he came by to the library. And he was always so interested, helpful, and kind to everyone with a smile on his face.
Abby Fierstein, who knew Becker for over 30 years, says Becker was compassionate.
We lost our cat during the time that we knew Ted, and we had a celebration of our cat's life. And Ted came, and he brought flowers, and he brought wine, and he celebrated our cat, Homer. I mean, that meant so much to us. It's just a little example of what kind of person he was.
Elected leaders from across the state also attended, including Governor John Carney.
It's obvious by the incredible turnout how many lives he touched in a positive way. And everybody thought of him and talked about him in the same way, that he treated everybody the same, with respect and kindness.
A pillar of the Lewis community gone, but not forgotten. Former Mayor Ted Becker's impact in Lewis was clearly felt today as community members and leaders celebrated his life and legacy. In Lewis, Ana Sofia Roman, Coast TV News.
In lieu of flowers, Becker's family asks donations be made to the 4th Street Preserve, which you see on the screen. That's the initiative to save over 30 acres in downtown Lewis. It's the last large open space parcel in downtown Lewis. As we take a live look right now from our camera in Ocean City, Dry Tech down there. Still a beautiful view, though I'm used to seeing it with the sunset when we play it in the earlier broadcasts, Paul, but our chief meteorologist, Paul Williams, is tracking this weather down in Ocean City and everywhere.
Yes, and indeed, and in the fall, we don't receive as much sunshine, so yeah, it tends to take a nosedive a little bit quicker. And what we haven't seen, any precipitation, any measurable precipitation since, well, September the 27th. Our Bay Health camera in Dover is highlighting that we're still bone dry right now there as well, 49 degrees, and we'll go down to 47 with partly to mostly clear skies for tonight. Now, we have been searching for rain, and the search has not come up with anything at all. In fact, as far as the month is concerned, we're at negative 3.37. I mean, we're really embarking upon breaking a record as far as the lack of rain that we've experienced thus far. And even as you take a look at our expectation for the entire year, we are 6 inches shy of our normal rainfall total for the entire year. That is a tremendous impact when you begin to take a look at the averages. So we haven't seen rain really for the last 29 days in a row. The record is 34. And to be honest, folks, all of the entire meteorological staff, we're in pretty much solid agreement unanimously. We all believe that we're going to shatter that record pretty easily because we hit that record of all days on Halloween. And it looks like we may even surpass that. I'll have your long-term forecast coming up in a moment. To then, back to you, Maddie.
Paul, thank you. And interesting you bring up drought because new tonight, tips from DENREC as they say you should conserve water even in the cold. DENREC says make sure your furnace works, first of all. That keeps pipes from freezing and reduces the need to leave faucets dripping, which of course wastes water. On that same vein, insulate exposed pipes. And lastly, fix any leaks before temps drop so you can avoid bigger issues. New tonight, Ocean City's fire department is growing this weekend. Sunday at 1 is the ribbon cutting for the new Midtown Fire Station. All are invited, and there will even be an apparatus parade. Also new tonight, in the midst of a burn ban and drought conditions, Maryland's fire marshals handed out 30 smoke alarms in Hebron today. The fire marshal says it's a reminder that smoke alarms do save lives, and they ask people to replace their alarm if it's more than 10 years old. The Surfrider Foundation is looking to make surfing a little friendly for the environment and for your wallet. Their first surf swap is scheduled for next weekend. Surfrider says it's providing free or donated wetsuits and gear to surfers of all ages, reducing the financial burden on new surfers and also trying to be more sustainable. All of this is happening November 2nd at Rise Up in Rehoboth Beach. To the presidential race now, a busy weekend for the candidates. First, Kamala Harris campaigned in Michigan today, visiting healthcare providers and medical students. She later was introduced at a rally by former First Lady Michelle Obama, talking about why she thinks she is the best candidate.
There is a yearning in our country for a president who sees the people, not just looking in the mirror all the time, but sees the people, who gets you and who will fight for you. That is what this election is about.
After the rally, Harris went to a bar with Michigan's governor. Meanwhile, former President Trump campaigned in Pennsylvania today and in Michigan as well. They're inviting Muslim leaders on stage. He also appeared on Joe Rogan's podcast for hours, the former president touting ideas about adding tariffs today.
Under the Trump administration, we're going to take back what is rightfully ours. We're going to bring it back with smart tariffs. Taxes, not on you, by the way.
Meanwhile, President Biden is back in the first state after campaigning for Harris in Pittsburgh. He went home to Wilmington and attended church, which you can see here. And starting Monday, make sure to tune in to Coast TV for our preview week coverage. We'll air exclusive Canada interviews focusing on the races that impact us specifically here on Delmarva. Our preview week for Decision 2024 kicks off on Monday. It was a great day in Rehoboth Beach for the Sea Witch Parade. We had some awesome attendees there. Lots of great floats, and thousands of people truly came out, of course, to see the Sea Witch herself and even more. Coast TV was honored to take part and walk in the parade. The Chamber of Commerce director says all these crowds, well, they're great for business, but it's not just because of the parade.
Last year, we had 200,000 people over the 3 days. We're anticipating the same because the weather's great, and we've added more things to do, more things for the kids to do.
All of us at Coast TV had a great time today. If you took photos with us, please send it over and we might even repost it. And the Sea Witch Fun continues tomorrow among many events at 9. Sunday is the Sea Witch 5K Classic at Grove Park. At 1 p.m. there's the Dog Parade. There's also pony rides, a horse show, and lots of games. And we are just getting started this Saturday evening. Still to come, lots of money for the Cape May Lewis Ferry.
And we have a newly issued freeze watch, which will kick in for us Sunday going into Monday. And the lack of rain is also on our minds because the ground is drying out even more over the next few days.
But first, from wind turbines to new policies, it was a very big week on Delmarva. We have your weekend review when we're back in just 60 seconds.
All right, guys, we're going to Jason's for the game this week. It's going to be dark, musty, and cramped, but we got this. Bring it in. 1, 2, 3. Man, I totally forgot you got a new show home.
Yeah, we moved in a few months ago. Wait, where'd everyone go?
This snack table is huge!
I can't tell if I'm inside or outside. Oh yeah, that's fresh.
Get a show home, they said. All of your friends will want to come over to the game, they said.
My dad, Mike Ramone, is a different kind of public servant. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, right. But I know from my own experience how much he cares about everyone. He's a great father and grandfather. You can see how much their futures matter to him. And he has the same passion for your kids' future. He's focused on fixing our schools and getting teachers and students the resources they need. What I can promise is he'll be a great governor for all of Delaware.
From life-changing resources to the beginning of the election, there was a lot going on this week on the coast. Charlie Sakaitis has a look at our week in review.
Monday, Dagsboro decided to keep last call as it is. The town council met Monday, where ultimately they voted down an ordinance that would have shortened the window in which alcohol sales are allowed. So where do the rules stand? Well, bars and restaurants can start serving booze at 9 a.m. They have to stop serving by 1 a.m. Tuesday, a practice makes perfect situation. The Delaware Network for Excellence in Autism partnered with the Newcastle City Police to give drivers with autism the opportunity to practice traffic stops, getting these drivers valuable experience in dealing with a stressful situation. Wednesday, federal regulations were released focused on protecting marine life during the construction of offshore wind turbines. The regulations allow for, quote, up to 20 incidental takes of marine mammals. That's everything from harassment all the way to death. Thursday, a massive settlement reached in the deadly Baltimore Bridge collapse. The owner and manager of the cargo ship that caused the collapse has agreed to pay more than $100 million in a deal with the U.S. government. And Friday, Delawareans started going to the polls. Early voting has opened. It's going to run through November 3rd in the first state. In Maryland, the window is smaller. Early voting ends October 31st. The general election is November 5th. For your Week in Review, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
Still to come, climate voters, how the Earth is impacting the election.
And speaking of climate changes, listen, we're expecting more bone-dry beaches across Delmarva for the next few days. Your full forecast and an update on our drought situation coming up.
Prince George's County politician Angela Alsobrooks may live near D.C., but she'd bring tons of baggage. Nearly 2 decades of illegal tax breaks, $59,000 in back taxes, and thousands in unpaid bills. A sweetheart tax deal. Typical politician. Slumlord Alsobrooks? Records show she was caught operating an illegal rental property. With so much baggage, how can we trust Alsobrooks to represent us? Maryland's Future is responsible for the content of this advertising.
At the Delmarva Design Center, appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring come together in one showroom. We have specialists in each division, like myself in tile, to ensure that you have the best product to fit your needs. and that your selection fits seamlessly with every element of your remodel.
I was able to look at everything that I was looking for from my new kitchen, including the backsplash and the countertop and the sinks all in one place.
Delmarva Design Center. Great design starts with great inspiration. Selbyville, Delaware.
Mondays at 5 on Big 107.7. It's time to huddle up and talk football.
We're talking touchdowns, tackles, and everything in between. From game-changing plays to the latest news around the league.
We'll take a deep dive into all of the plays that made a difference.
We'll see you in the end zone.
Catch the End Zone, Mondays at 5 on Big 107.7. Sponsored by Tyndall's Casual Furniture.
Yeah, we getting all fired up, getting ready for the players when they line up. Think it's time we go and get them lights up. Let them high school lights ignite us. Cause we fighters, coming with a hut like this. Coming with a pick six like that. Gonna be a showdown, so big. Think it's time for football night to impact. High school football is everything. Hey, hey, let's go. For the win, for the gold, for the crown, the ring. High school football is everything.
We've been trying to make our way through this dry drought pattern, and it looks like that pattern will continue. And on top of that, we'll add concern for freezing temperatures for Monday morning. Yeah, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about as it pertains to that. Our Gateway Super Camera in Ocean City, we're at 57 degrees. We'll drop down to 52 with a few scattered clouds sliding into the area by 2 o'clock in the morning. We have a small craft advisory active along the shore. Now, this is really active throughout most of the Delmarva Peninsula, so we're bracing for somewhat blustery conditions along the beaches, about 25-mile-per-hour winds. Then we have all this blue in the middle here. What does that mean? Well, we're watching out for freezing temperatures or freezing conditions, believe it or not, for all of Sussex for Monday morning. Tomorrow morning is going to be pretty chilly, to be quite honest, especially for the 5K in the early morning hours. But we're looking for that to be a concern throughout really this entire section of the country, the mid-Atlantic region, as we're going to drop to near freezing. And that's how it's going to be. I mean, we're already falling down to 44 in Redden, 45 right now in Seaford, and we're at 43 degrees currently in Delmar. Now, we're not expecting that along the shore so much, but the farther you go inland, that's where the cold is really going to grip us pretty solidly. Then, for tomorrow, we'll start off in the 40s, but we'll flip it to near 60 with mostly sunny skies, and the winds coming out of the north is going to make a cool day feel really kind of chilly most of the day. The severe drought concern, that continues to be a concern for us. We're on pace for the driest month ever, and we're going to have that fall-like chill in full effect at the beginning of the work week, but towards the end, it'll flip-flop totally. Right now, the severe drought is still in full effect for most of Sussex County and at least moderate for all surrounding areas. As we search for rain, we're not going to find it for the next few days in a row. We're over nearly closing in on 3.5 inches shy for the entire month. Now, the good news is our long-range models are indicating we're about to slide back to a normal situation, but normal means we still are waiting for the rain to begin. You see, with our future cast, you'll notice Sunday morning, winds are out of the north, we're in the 40s. In the afternoon, we're near 59, 58 degrees, and then we'll settle back into the 40s overnight. Monday morning, we start off in the 40s by 4 o'clock in the morning. We'll dip into the 30s in some isolated pockets. But that bone dry pattern continues because you see, the most we can muster is only 8% chance of rain for us for Wednesday. So the freeze watch is in effect for not only Sussex, but Dorchester, Somerset, Wacomico, Worcester, basically everywhere. And what is it going to feel like Monday morning? How about 35 to 33 to 31 degrees for us in Delmar? Here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodel and the extended forecast.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. New election data shows strong enthusiasm from voters in swing states who prioritize climate change. The nonpartisan environmental voter group says 130,000 first-time voters have already cast their ballots, more than enough to decide a close race. National climate reporter Chase Kane digs into how weather and climate disasters could reshape our elections for years to come.
Climate change isn't just making hurricanes stronger or heat waves hotter. It's also starting to reshape our elections. Supercharged storms like Helene and Milton might destroy polling places, but they can also create renewed motivation to vote.
People deserve to be heard. We'll find a way to vote.
What can you do but I guess vote out some people and vote in people who are
putting that as a priority.
That enthusiasm is also reflected in new data from the Environmental Voter Project. The nonpartisan group is contacting 4.8 million voters across 19 states, all who prioritize climate action, but rarely or have never voted.
Every election, the big question is, will young voters, and particularly young climate voters, actually show up? And so far, the data isn't just encouraging, it's extraordinary.
Nathaniel Stinnett leads the nonpartisan group, and so far this election, they've already rallied more than 100,000 first-time voters to cast ballots in key swing states like Pennsylvania and North Carolina.
Let's just take a state like Arizona. Arizona was decided by fewer than 10,500 votes in 2020. We've identified 230,000 potential first-time climate voters in Arizona. So yeah, these climate voters who typically sit on the sidelines could make an enormous difference if they show up this fall, and so far they are.
More frequent and extreme disasters could also bring even bigger changes in the future.
5-6 years now?
And I heard evidence of that while talking with longtime Floridians impacted by Hurricane Milton.
So what's going through your mind after this yet again?
I don't want to be here anymore. I'm leaving this area, and I've been here since 1974.
I think there's a lot of people that are just going to sell. I mean, the older people, like I said, on fixed incomes can't afford this.
So when you and your neighbors are all of a sudden saying, you know what, I don't know if I can live here anymore, people start to build a kind of momentum socially, and then all of a sudden, people, in fact, really do move.
Jesse Keenan studies climate migration at Tulane University, and he's noticing climate impacts, disasters, pushing more Americans to move, which could eventually redraw the electoral map.
So to say it another way, we might see more purple states in the future.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately a very healthy thing, to move from very hard divisions of blue and red to create more competitive political geographies in this country.
In New York, I'm National Climate Reporter Chase Kane.
Coming up, money for the Lewis Ferry, how one grant is changing the future when Coast TV News at 11 returns.
Hurry in, they're going fast. Find your perfect pair at the largest Birkenstock store on the shore. Just Comfort Shoes, Coastal Highway, Rehoboth Beach, and downtown Rehoboth Beach.
With more than 25 years of surgical expertise, Dr. Julie Berry is now accepting new patients at Tidal Health Ear, Nose, and Throat Surgery. Dr. Berry offers specialized care for a wide range of general ear, nose, and throat disorders. Whether you're dealing with chronic sinus issues or require advanced surgical intervention, Dr. Berry is here to provide expert care tailored to your specific needs. Discover the difference that expert care can make. Schedule your appointment today.
Middays with April Brilliant. It's a feel-good show on your radio.
April is the easiest way to get through my workday.
She plays my favorite songs.
She helped me find my furry friend.
She's always making me smile.
Listening to April is the best way to get through my workday.
She makes me feel special.
Middays with April, weekdays from 10 to 3 on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3. Sponsored by Critter Getters.
Seen these attacks? They're not true. The Republican billionaires paying for them know it, and Larry Hogan does too. So why does a group of billionaires from outside Maryland care so much about our Senate race? Because they want power, and they know Larry Hogan will give Republicans control of the Senate. They'll pass trillions in new tax breaks for big corporations and the wealthy. But you know who they don't care about? You. I'm Angela Also Brooks, and I approve this message.
Hurry in, they're going fast. Find your perfect pair at the largest Birkenstock store on the shore. Just Comfort Shoes, Coastal Highway, Rehoboth Beach, and downtown Rehoboth Beach.
Out with the old, in with the new. In case you missed it this week, as the decades-old Cape May Lewis Ferry is sailing away, a new one is coming in, a hybrid one specifically. As Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken shows us, this upgrade will intentionally make trips across the Delaware Bay a little bit more environmentally friendly.
A way to get between Delaware and New Jersey is crucial for many people. The Cape May Lewis Ferry allows May Cipriano to see her family and friends every month. As a frequent rider, she is excited about a new ferry that will be better for the environment.
I think it is important because we have to cut down on pollution.
A $20 million grant from the U.S. Department of Transportation to the Delaware River and Bay Authority will help change the future of the ferry experience. One of the current diesel engine ferries will be replaced with a new diesel hybrid engine vessel.
It will reduce emissions anywhere from 22% to 90% depending on the pollutant. There's going to be a portion of the time where we're at the dock and maneuvering in and out of the port where we'll be operating on batteries alone. So that's almost zero emissions. And of course, that's where we're the closest to the communities that we serve.
Gerke says the ferry will also have all new amenities, including seating, restaurant, and bar spaces.
The bars, the restaurant, I think it will draw more people to take the ferry, and they can come on board, get off in Lewis. It's good for the economy.
On Wednesday, Delaware's congressional delegates celebrated the grant that will make these ferry upgrades possible. Right now, you can see passengers and cars loading up onto this over 40-year-old ferry vessel, but by summer 2027, you will see these passengers and cars loading onto a brand new diesel hybrid engine ferry vessel. In Lewis, I'm Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
New tonight, the rideshare company Lyft has agreed to a $2 million settlement with the FTC for misleading drivers about pay. The FTC said Lyft made deceptive claims about how much drivers could expect to make per hour and how much they could earn in special incentives. In addition to the civil penalty, the proposed settlement includes other requirements to make pay clearer. After the break here on Coast TV News, as we take a live look into Ocean City, we have a final check on your forecast. Coast TV News continues in just a few moments.
A wet crawl space is a lurking hazard, inviting mold, rot, and structural worries. The answer is Brazier's Crawl Space Encapsulation. Our specialist tailors the solution to your exact crawl space. Our expert team cleans and upgrades your crawl space into a pristine, protected environment, and we only use April Air dehumidifiers. Reliable and robust, complete with a 5-year warranty. Take the first step to a drier, safer home. Call Brazier's or visit our website. Your peace of mind is just one call away.
DSN Plus is more action. 4 additional live stream games every weeknight and full replays on demand. DSN Plus is more local. 5 live games every weeknight, showcasing high school showdowns and regional rivalries across Delmarva. DSN Plus is more access. Watch on your mobile devices, and remember, DSN is still free over the air and on cable. But get more with DSN Plus, just $6.99 a month. Download the Delmarva Sports Network app from your app store today.
Oh, you can do that for me?
Stop hogging the new bathroom!
I'm on the phone!
Who are you on the phone with?
Alex from Peninsula Bath.
What are you wearing, Alex from Peninsula Bath?
Khakis. And with that second bathroom, we'll give you an additional 10% off.
Mercy! That's a great deal, Alex from Peninsula Bath.
Call now to lock in your 10% discount off your second bath remodel.
Thank you, Peninsula Bath.
As a math teacher, Matt Meyer knows that Delaware's tax system isn't adding up. So he has a plan to fix it. Give middle-class families a tax cut, invest in schools, and lower costs. But Mike Ramon's plan gives tax breaks to the ultra-rich, which could cut education by nearly $175 million. Matt Meyer knows these numbers don't add up. He'll make state taxes fair so families can get ahead. Vote Matt Meyer for governor.
Our Salisbury tidal health camera reflecting that, hey, we're going to fall into the 40s rather easily now, so it's going to be on the chill side. And we have an active freeze watch in effect for most of the Delmarva Peninsula for Sunday night going into Monday morning. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, by the way. You can keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, sponsored by Baird, Madonna's, Brockstedt, and Frederico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling 10-day forecast. We're going to start off chilly Sunday and then downright hot by Halloween.
All right, Paul, thank you. And thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, you can download our app. Saturday Night Live starts right now. Have a great night.